What is up, everyone? Hope you're having a blessed day today. Thank you for going on this journey with me. So, this person writes, how do I start worshiping God? I am 17 years old and I have never really been thought about God and Jesus. And I've never really thought about God and Jesus. Sure, I have prayed a few times, but I never know how or why or what I am doing. My father is baptized, but he knows nothing and doesn't really worship. He knows nothing. That's harsh. My family would rather find me cringe or make me feel embarrassed if I start to find God. It's very common. My whole purpose is to find God, is find peace within myself and with death. Last year, I was in a horrible place. I was self harming, trying to off myself, vaping, smoking, drinking, going back to the same guy who kept hurting me, and generally wasn't the best person to my family. I got into a car accident, and ever since my life has changed, I've begun to realize that death can come at any second and tomorrow is never promised. I now have stopped doing all the nasty things I have done before, but my fear of death has grown stronger. My family says there's something after death, as why would we all be here if there wasn't? But how do I know? What if it's all black? Yes, I know you would never know if you're dead, but that's the issue. I hate the thought of death. I don't like that at any moment my beloved family members could be gone. Really interesting topic. I think a lot of 17-year-olds probably feel this way. They're dabbling in self destructive behaviors, and it can really lead you down a place where you lose that connection with God or not create the connection with God, right? I feel like that's exactly what they're feeling would be relieved by having a real faith in God, in Jesus, knowing that there is an afterlife, knowing that He does have a plan for you, that everyone will connect when we die in whatever way you want to believe that. Having that faith, I think, will relieve their anxiety. I mean, that's a big reason I started going down this journey, is I realized that it's so terrifying out there in the world without God. Without, if you don't believe that He has your back and you're not building a relationship with Him, it's just like you're in the forest with no light and no shield. It's very scary, and I feel what they're going through. I've felt that, and it's like, if you don't accept God into your heart truly, then it's really difficult to believe in an afterlife. It's hard to have faith that it's not just, lights out kind of thing. Even though, like, what is lights out? Everything's in a circle. Like, I like to think of the rain cycle, like the rain rains down and then, it evaporates up invisibly, and then it rains back down somewhere else as something else. And I'm not saying that happens. I'm just saying, like, what really gets destroyed? Is anything really destroyed? Can you even destroy energy? I think science and religion are kind of two different languages speaking the same story. I heard that the other day, and I really enjoyed that interpretation of it, because there's a lot of people that enjoy science explaining life, and there's a lot of people that enjoy religion explaining life. And I think the better we get at science, the better we'll understand that religion has a lot of validity to it. And I feel like they're kind of one and the same thing. And that, yes, sometimes can science can lead you away from religion, and sometimes religion can lead you away from science. But at the end of the day, I think that we will come to the conclusion that, it's one and the same. That there is a God out there. There is a purpose for you. There is an afterlife. There is all these beautiful things that she's having anxiety about would be relieved. All the fear, all the anxiety, all these negative emotions kind of get shed from you when you truly start to accept God in your life. So I think, like, all the things she's saying at the end here that are fear based would be relieved. It's like she's malnourished. It's like they need vitamin G, vitamin God. And once they get that, like anything, if you have scurvy because you don't have enough vitamin C, you eat a lime and, you're feeling a lot better. Suddenly your teeth aren't falling out. In the same way, if you don't have that connection to your higher power and you're not letting God in your heart, it you're malnourished. That's the best way I can put it. People, you get atrophy if you don't use your body. You get malnourished if you're not putting food in your heart. And I think it's harder for people to realize that they're malnourished um, spiritually. If you don't have a relationship with God, you're kind of malnourished spiritually. Same thing with like emotional development. You have to be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually developed in order to be living your happiest, most passionate, exciting life. And I think God wants all those things for you. And if you choose to take out the spirituality, take out the emotional development, it's very shallow. It's only, half of it. Even if you're super smart, super ripped, if you're not emotionally and spiritually developed, it's still a very shallow life. So I think this person needs to just do a little self work. In some ways, we're all just behind that little mountain of self work we don't want to do. You might be dealing with, a little you're in college and you're dealing with the mental development of thing. You're trying to get your degree. You could be trying to get to a new personal um, fitness goal. You're trying to like run a marathon or get yourself your summer bod or whatever your thing is. You might be emotionally trying to build a strong relationship with your partner where you're not bickering about finances or whatever people argue about. Maybe you're at a spiritual part. This person sounds like they're on a spiritual journey of self-development, and once they can truly develop that relationship with God, I think so much of what they're saying right here would just dissipate. And the amazing thing is you have extraordinary potential within you. I know you feel like you can't be an athlete, but you are an athlete. There's something you enjoy doing athletically. Maybe it's golf, maybe it's bowling, maybe it's disc golf, maybe it's bocce ball. Kind of said different things of the same thing, but at the same time, whatever it is you're excited about, do that. God wants you to be passionate. He wants you to be an athlete. He wants you to be an academic. You don't have to get a degree, but you can start researching things that you have a spark for, a curiosity for, that you have a passion for. I think God wants you to become versed in many different topics, spiritually too. God wants you to develop an amazing relationship with him, to accept Jesus, to allow all the good things in life into your heart. And same thing emotionally. He wants you to be emotionally developed in your relationship. He doesn't want you to lash out at people, talk out of anger, get defensive. Like all those things get washed away. And I think they all interlock too. The smarter you get, it might be easier for you to, figure out how to get your fitness journey where you want it to be. And the more spiritually developed you are, it might be easier for you to get emotionally developed. I think the spiritual one is the most powerful. Once you truly believe in your heart, you like say you get spiritual before anything else, you'll probably end up being healthy because you're treating your body like a temple. You'll probably end up being very emotionally developed because you're turning the other cheek, and just doing all these teachings of Jesus are very emotionally intelligent. Like Jesus was an extremely emotionally intelligent individual, and if you follow his words, you'll develop emotionally. Same thing with financially, like mentally too. Like if you follow the spiritual plan for you that's been laid out, truly, like you truly honor it, you'll be successful in every area of your life, physically, emotionally, financially, mentally. Like everything develops when you truly take in the spiritual aspect that God has laid out for you, and treat yourself like a temple. Your body is a temple. If you truly acted that way, you would be in amazing shape. Honestly, you wouldn't put anything negative in your body, and you'd be cleaning it up and stuff like that. If you truly treated it like a temple, everyone would be smoking hot. And if you truly were following God's, you know, teachings and stuff like that, you'd be so emotionally mature. If you genuinely followed what Jesus preaches, your relationships, they might not always work out, but the people would be like, but they were emotionally mature. I'm not saying you would, never break up with your partner, but you wouldn't fight about it. It would be very peaceful if you followed Jesus's teachings. So I just think in some ways the most important thing to develop is the spiritual aspect. And in some ways that's the last thing we develop because it's not on the outside, even though it is. I was just talking about earlier how once someone is walking, believing that they're doing God's work and like truly like walking God's path, they have like a very confident aura to them. They have conviction, they're positive, they're spreading love, they know that they're doing the right thing. Like that's a powerful, I'm going to call it aura. Honestly, when someone is truly walking in line with God and doing God's work, they have an amazing aura to them. That's not negative. You've met people with negative auras, right? where you're like, oh my God, they're like, you could tell they're like plotting some negativity, you know? You don't know if they're going to rob you or something like that. You're like, you can feel it. Same's true when you're walking God's path. You can feel that person, the positivity, the love, the just willingness, the openness. It's all good stuff. So I hope you're having an amazing day. Please let me know in the comments, what would you tell to this person? How should they get started worshiping God? Is there a certain way you recommend reading the Bible? I want to know that personally too. That's something I need to work on. Um, how to pray, I feel like that comes very easily to me, but at the same time, you know, do you have a structure to it? Do you think that helps to have like a certain prayer? I love the serenity prayer personally. I think that is so powerful. Even before I was religious, I think that's a good stepping stone for people. Before you get like really religious, the serenity prayer is a great place to start at. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That is gold. That is gold. I say that every single day. I love it. It's my favorite prayer. What is your favorite prayer? I think there's a lot of people that connect to the serenity prayer that aren't super religious people, but they still connect with it because that's such a true statement. And there's a lot of them, though. Honestly, it's all hits. You go down the list, people, they're all really good. So let me know in the comments what's your favorite. Where should this person start? I think a lot of people grow up with that problem of not being in a religious household, not even being in a religious community, and your environment kind of dictates a lot. So it's honestly beautiful that this person is breaking out of their comfort zone, even getting called cringe and stuff by their family. Beautiful. It's a beautiful journey. You're being brave. Keep being brave. Keep being passionate. Keep being exciting. I'll see you next time. Peace.